Our top story today, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskiy marked Easter with a message urging citizens not to lose hope for peace. Standing outside Kyiv's St. Sophia Cathedral, he said Ukraine continues to believe in each other and in eventual justice. Let's listen in to what he said.
Знаємо, що захищаємо, знаємо, за що боремось, за кого і заради кого. І тому кожного разу, як би важко нам не було, ми все одно не втрачаємо віру. Бо ця віра один в одного, в тих, хто стоїть поруч з тобою, в українців, в українок. Віра в те, що зло має свою годину, а Бог має свій.
The Ukrainian president also accused Russia of faking a ceasefire during the Easter period while continuing its attacks on the front lines. In a social media statement, Zelensky said Russian forces kept up isolated advances and targeted Ukrainian troops overnight, despite trying to give the impression of a truce. He said a 30-day ceasefire could have opened the door to peace, but noted that President Vladimir Putin had already rejected a proposal for a full and unconditional halt to the fighting. According to the Russian media, several explosions rocked Russian-held Donetsk in eastern Ukraine despite a Kremlin-declared Easter ceasefire. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Moscow Mayor Sergei Sobyanin attended an Easter service where Patriarch Kirill, the head of the Russian Orthodox Church and a staunch supporter of Putin and the war in Ukraine, led the ceremony. Yesterday, Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered a unilateral Easter ceasefire in Ukraine and ordered Russian troops to end hostilities. Let's take a listen to what he said.
Руководствуясь гуманитарными соображениями, сегодня с 18:00 часов до 00 часов с воскресенья на понедельник российская сторона объявляет пасхальное перемирие. Приказываю на этот период остановить все боевые действия. Исходим из того, что украинская сторона последует нашему примеру.
Air raid sirens rang out in Kyiv and Kharkiv on the evening of April the 19th, just hours after President Putin declared a surprise one-day Easter ceasefire in Ukraine. In Kyiv, the sirens lasted around 15 minutes, though no attacks followed. Let's hear what residents from Russia and Ukraine had to say about the Easter ceasefire.
Я считаю, что оно ни к чему не приведет. Пасхальное перемирие не приведет к миру. Потому что Украина все равно не будет соблюдать эти договоренности. Так же, как они сейчас продолжают бомбить эти наши энергообъекты. Понимаете? Мы прекратили вроде бы как, а они как продолжают, так и продолжают.
Розумієте, ця людина не договороспособна, він не вміє домовлятися, він вміє тільки силою брати, він ніколи не піде на домовленість. Так, як ми хочемо, він хоче так, як він хоче. Не буде перемир'я. Дуже жаль. Ночі ми чекаємо в Україні, а особливо в Києві, прильоти ракет. Тому перемир'я не буде. Це моя думка.
We are joined by Gautam Mukherjee, senior journalist, to discuss this further. Thank you very much, Gautam, for joining us as always. What are the underlying motivations behind this announcement of a 30-hour Easter ceasefire from the Kremlin?
Well, one thing that is underlining this is the common religion. Russian Orthodox Church is also prominent in Ukraine. Kyiv has always been a prominent part of the Russian Orthodox Church. Its cathedral is famous. And from Tsarist times, Ukraine was part of Russia. So that is one part, the historical and the religious commonality. Second part is, I think Russia is aiming towards peace and tranquility in the not too distant future. It has asked America and America is well inclined to do so, is recognize the Crimea as Russian territory. If that goes through smoothly, that then will probably lead to the Donetsk region, where 20% of Ukraine is in a Russian possession and could become part of Russia. Eventually, a peace accord will have to be drummed up between Ukraine and Russia, particularly since America has indicated it has no appetite to keep on mediating between the two for any length of time. So there's a time limit involved. If they want America's participation, they have to get on with it.
Yes, Gautam, what
Ukraine has...
apologies.
Sorry.
What does this say about the state of the current relations with Russia and Ukraine? Obviously, you've still, even in this religious day, you've still got accusations flying back and forth of them violating this 30-day ceasefire. You've obviously also got the fact that Ukraine accepted Russia's proposal of this ceasefire, whereas you've got Russia rejecting the previously accepted US forwarded ceasefire deal. What does this say about the current state of Russia-Ukraine relations in regard to a ceasefire deal?
I think it's going to head towards a simmering down of this kind of toing and froing. Another indicator that things will normalize soon is the MOU that has been signed between Ukraine and America with regard to the rare earths in Ukraine. So all of these things would not be thought of as worth doing unless you're going to call this war off. Now, who wants the war to continue? Ukraine cannot on its own. Europe, for all its bluster, will probably find itself between a rock and a hard place to both finance it and supply the military equipment. Any suggestion of trying to post troops in Ukraine, either in a peacekeeping manner or any other, will be resisted stoutly by Russia. So this is all heading towards a wind down.
Yes. Gautam Mukherjee, thank you very much for joining us, but you are staying with us. We now move over to the Middle East. In an update